Hello everyone, how are you doing? I trust you're having a very wonderful day. Today's cybersecurity class, so we're looking at our Python series and we're taking a look at control flow. We want to understand what control flow is. So basically, control flow is a way to dictate the order in which different blocks of codes are executed. So control flow dictates the order in which different blocks of codes are executed based on conditions or loops. So if you want to dictate how different blocks of code will run based on some certain condition or loops, that's when we discuss control flow. And in control flow, we have statements like if statement, elif, or a short form of else if statement, then else. So when do we use if statement? We use if statement if you want to run a block of code or you want to execute a block of code to check if it is true. So that's when you use if statement. You don't just confirm if a block of code is correct. Then you can use elif statement if you want to execute the block. If the first condition is false, then the other condition is true. Then use else if the first condition is false, second condition is also false. All of the previous conditions are false, so you just revert back to else statement. So let's quickly take a look with the example of the if, elif, else statement. Let's look at our Cloud Shell first, and then we can move and create a file where we can work with. In our Cloud Shell, we don't want to write the code directly. We want to create a file to write this code. So how do we create a file? Now, let's name this if else. So you have to use the word nano if if else dot py. So we are saving it as a Python file. And why do we use nano? Because with nano we can be able to write all of our files inside, then save it, then run it easily. So I'm going to show you how you do that. Now with nano, I press enter. Now you can see that it opens up something like this for us. Then you can see this statement if else.py. This is the file name. So you can create a file and inside the file write a block of code to run it easily. That's why nano is very good. Now you can see some things here you can do. So all of these things are controls. So this is control G, this is Control O, Control W, Control K to cut. You want to cut something. Where the music you want to cut is Control K. So this icon beside is the control key. Use control to do all of them. Let me now start with my file. Very easy. Let me write x. I'm going to say x equals to 3 or 4. Then y equals to 5. So this is very easy to understand, I guess. I can see my if statement if x is less than y. I think that's very simple to understand. Then I have to put my semicolon so that it knows that I'm still running a single code. Now I've given a condition. Then the next line tells us how to run that block of code. So I want to indent. Remember indentation? We've talked about it already. 1, 2, 3, 4. So what should we do? Print. Okay, what should we print? Let's print something. Let's print correct. So my condition is if x is less than y, print correct. I have done my indentation. You can see my indentation here. I've done my indentation. So this is supposed to be correct. If x is less than y, I put a semicolon to tell the Python shell that I want to run something. Then with this, I can save. How do you save? You write out Control O, press Control your keyboard, Control and O. It brings you this file name to write if else.py. Yes. So don't do anything here, just press enter. That's all. Then you can come out by exiting by pressing Control X to exit. Now, how do we run this? Just write your Python 3, then the name of the file if underscore, check the name of the file where s.py, then run. Can you see that it wrote correct? So it means that we are correct. If you want to go back, how do you go back? So you just press your arrow key. You know you have arrow keys, 4 arrow keys on your keyboard. 1, 2. So just press your arrow key. It can give you yes what you have written before. So this arrow key, I press it. Then press it again. Your arrow key up. So you can see nano equals of py. Then press enter. If I press enter, I can see what I wrote before. I can edit it. So if x less than y, print correct. Very simple code to write, and it's correct. So when you talk about if else, you can give a condition that if x less than y, print this, else print the other one. Okay. And can we run something like that? Yes, we can. Else, yes, so it knows we want to run a block of code here. 1, 2, 3, 4, print wrong. So let me be sure. X is less than y. So let me change the figures so that it will know what to print. So if I change it to 7, is 7 less than 7 is less than 5. So let's see the answer to give. So what will I do now? Control O, let's enter, Control X. Then I go with my Python. Yeah, so I just went up and did that. Can you see that giving us wrong now? Wrong. So that's if statement, else statement. So let's do something that looks somehow like cybersecurity now. All right, so let me create a new file and call it nano cyber underscore example 1. Okay, so I have this cyber underscore example 1. Then I can, so this is my code. Failed attempts. So someone is trying to log into the server or log into the dashboard. Failed attempts equals to 5, maximum attempt equals to 3. So the question is, if failed attempt is greater than maximum attempt, what you do is just print out an alert, account logged due to multiple failed attempts. Now, if failed attempt is equals to maximum attempt. So if the person has a failed attempt that is equal to maximum attempt, to just print out you have reached the number of login limits. Then else to just print out login successful. So we have the condition that we have someone who's trying to log in. If your login attempt is one, fine. To still tell you, okay, yes, you know you you are wrong. If it is two, fine. But if it is three, we tell you have reached the maximum number of attempts logins. Then if it's more than that, then it tells you your account is locked due to multiple login. Or else to tell you you logged in successfully. So let's do Control O, press enter, Control X to exit. Then I can do my Python 3 cyber underscore example 1. Okay, so with this now, I press enter. So you can see that account is logged due to multiple failed login attempts. Yes, because remember, let's go back. So let's press the arrow key to go back, out to Bonano. Yeah, I press enter. Why is it saying that? Because generally speaking, our failed attempt is greater than our maximum attempt. So let me change this figure. Let failed attempt be 2. Let failed attempt be 2. Then Control O, press enter, Control X. So let me do my Python then. Just put my arrow key. Python example 1. Login successful. Okay, good. Now let's go back to Nano and check again. So if I now change this to 3, what will it say? 3. Control O, press enter, Control X, then arrow key up, then pick my Python. I press enter. Warning, you have reached the maximum number of login attempts. So I believe that is simple for you to understand. Try it out yourself and let me see what you have. That is if else statement. Let's take another example, and this time around we are looking at the while loop. The while loop, is a loop. It keeps running as long as the condition is true, and it's good for repeating tasks like doing continuous monitoring and doing a task. Maybe you are trying to monitor a network for malicious activity, you can use a while loop. So the condition is while a condition is running, the code block repeats itself, just keeps repeating itself. Let's take an example here. We'll create a name and call it while loop example. Let's call it while loop example.py, something like that. Then we'll put our file inside. So let me call it nano while underscore loop underscore example dot py. Remember we are writing our nano because we want to write inside it, then run it at the same time. So once you do that, it opens the way you can write your code. Then let me paste what I have. So let's go up and look at this. Field attempt is 0, maximum attempt is 3, blocked false. While field attempt is less than maximum attempt are not blocked, enter in username input, enter your username, password input, enter your password. So let us explain this a little bit so you can get the whole idea of it. Failed attempt is equals to 0. So what happens here is that the variable stores the number of unsuccessful login tries and it starts from 0. Then we have the maximum attempt as 3. So this is more like a constant that defines the number of allowed failed login attempts. In this case, we have 3. Now we give a condition to that blocked equals to false. So this is a Boolean variable and indicates whether an account is blocked. It's initially at false, not blocked. Then we have, let's explain the login loop. While the failed attempt is less than the maximum attempt and not blocked, this loop continues to run because both conditions are true. The number of failed attempts is less than the number of maximum attempts, so the blocked variable is false, meaning the account is not blocked. So you are prompted to enter your username and your password. So once you enter your username, the user is prompted to enter. You enter your username, then you enter your password also. So what you are just checking is there's a condition for what the username is and what the password is. And this time around, we are using double equals to because we are comparing. Remember we talked about comparison before. So we are comparing username and comparing the value for it. So if your username is admin and the password is password 123, that's just an example, then well, in the real world, don't use password 123 because that is too easy to it's too easy for any hacker to just patch. So if it is correct, what will happen is it will print login successful, meaning that the username and password are correct. But if it's not correct, what we are saying is that it should break. The statement immediately terminates, then the loop will run again. Else, if the username and password are not correct, so we've talked about plus equals to 1. So what happens is that the failed attempt is incremented. So if we do it once and fail, to tell you that you have logged in, done it one time. If we do it again, to tell you have done it 2 times. Then once it reaches its maximum time to read the message, to tell you that number of attempts you have is probably you know maybe you have 1 attempt, 2 attempts, then at the maximum time to tell you that no, this is has reached its maximum amount that it can allow you. At this time, the block variable is set to true because you should have done more than what you expected. Then an alert is sent, which is user account is blocked due to many failed attempts. So it's not a very simple logic to test if someone is writing a correct username. So if you write a correct username, to log you successfully. But if you don't write the correct username, what we are saying is while you are still trying it, it should be sending you a message that it remains this number, it remains this number. Then it keeps looping, keep looping, and keeps looping. So let us now try. Let's try it and see the result of it. So what will happen there is that it will prompt you. So I do my Control O, then press Enter. Control X, come out of it. So I write my Python 3, then name of the file y underscore loop underscore example dot py. Then I press my enter if I'm correct in spelling So the first thing is it's asking me for my username. So I didn't write anything. So it has told me now that failed login attempt one already. So let me now write the username is admin, but let me write ADMI intentionally. And for the password, let me write PASSWORD. So this is not correct. So and I press enter. It's telling me that failed login attempt 2/3. So let me intentionally fail it the last time I saw what to write. Um, Let me write admin. So because two of them has to be correct. Admin, and password PPP. What will it say? User account is blocked due to many failed attempts. Can you see that now? So let's go back to our code. Now let me make my number of attempts. Let me change it to let me change number of attempts now. Then let me say Control O, press enter, Control X. Then I write my Python. Yes, good. So let me create a username. Let it be wrong and mine. Password, let it be correct. Password 123. You can see that it's writing 1/5. 1/5. So let me do next. Correct username. The wrong password. 2/5. So correct username. You see 3/5. I didn't put a password. Now correct username. Then correct password. Login successful. So you can see it clearly here that why do runs as long as the condition is still false, it keeps running, and once the condition is true, it stops running.